My dad and I are trying to win the Serie A before each other. However, we are leaving all the ins and outs of our transfers to our director of football, outside of one spin of the transfer wheel at the end of each season. So far, it's been a tough 4 seasons though, as only a small handful of our director of football signings actually improve our teams. And some monumental drops in form meant that both of us were still scrapping at the bottom half of the table for now. But with my last spin of the wheel, I needed to find a free transfer to approach, and although there were a lot of options, I very much found my guy right away in Ola Solbakken, who looks a fantastic winger in his prime, and we eventually get a contract accepted. That's decided though it's time for a new director of football again, and he's approached Jonas Bolt for the role. This was despite his old director of football already signing a new transfer in centre-back Thomas Christensen, who's a big step up from Dad's current defenders. Dad had eyes on another talented player for his chosen player in Yuri Tillemans. His experience in the midfield took some convincing to come to Sampdoria, but eventually he found a contract worth accepting. It was a risky approach, but in the end Tillemans chose to sign with Dad and Sampdoria as their new player. Same as Solbakken, who I was thrilled to bring into my Barry club. A winger from both sides of the pitch who can finish as well. As the summer went on, even Dad's new director of football was struggling to spend the money he had, relying on just free transfers again for the players in the youth teams. Mom was having a bit more luck using the loan to buy option, but we weren't exactly bringing in players that would improve our team that much. And with the season underway, we needed to focus on the players we did have instead of the players that we want. And for Dad, that was turned out to be quite promising, with some very talented players linking up in the early stages. Right, Dad, well, I mean, you changed your director of football.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Although he's signing a lot of players, not spending money.
He signed me a good free transfer before I actually got rid of him.
This was your previous director of football.
Yeah.
You sacked that one.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So you brought in a different one since.
Yeah, but I mean, for his saying goodbye to me, he gave me this, and so I'm very pleased. Thank you very much.
6'6", 19 jump and reach, very good Danish defender. Yeah. Your choice obviously was Yuri Tillemans, good free transfer to bring in. I mean, he is 30 with only 13 natural fitness.
I just felt I needed an extra bit of experience in that position, and he's a very good player. So
yeah,
I was going for a centre defender, but
you already brought one in.
He just brought one in for me, so I was really happy with that.
Now, your new director of football, up to the same old tactics of bringing in players that you are never going to use. A lot of them as well. Noah Conan looks not bad, but not great. Pierre Kratz, again, not great. Rafa, yeah. He only really brought in one player who, to be honest, for £1.5 million, pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at to actually play him.
Could be a good winger.
Yeah, because he's got a very good potential. He's only 19 with a fairly professional personality. You start giving him game time, he could fly. Bit of game time, bit of pace training is what I'd be doing, and you could be looking at a really good winger.
I agree with you, but the problem I've got is I've got a really strong midfield, and he's not in it.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually in your under-19s at the minute, or under 18s at the minute, so he's getting some non-competitive football in that regard. So tactically then, you have got a narrow diamond, which also he wouldn't fit in.
No.
So lock in Brenner in the narrow diamond, which of course you had Brenner up there previously. So moving into more of an attacking midfielder with Brenner as the striker instead, and that's because Chadira goes in there, which you would rather have Brenner, I'd agree. Yeah. I'd rather have Brenner in there as well. So that's basically what it would look like.
Yeah, that's how I wanted to fit. To finish off, yeah.
Yeah, Samardzic, I mean, he was unhappy.
He was very unhappy.
He wanted to leave.
He wanted to go. He was wanted as well.
Still is.
And that was another reason why I brought Tillemans in, just in case I did lose him. But I was praying that I wouldn't, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So it was able to push him forward, and then put Tillemans actually into the centre midfield, which I'm really pleased with. I think I've got a really good, solid 4 in midfield there.
Yeah, they aren't selling players a lot, are they?
No, that's our only problem, though, isn't it?
It might get to a point where we might have to start like putting up players for sale, or putting them on the unwanted list.
Yeah.
Because I think we might have to do that from next season, because our squads are just massive. Like, you can see how many players Dad's got. He's got about 11 goalkeepers, which, to be fair, if he was in charge of it, might actually be realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic for me, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, we've gone how many seasons now, and you're looking at all the players going out. It's just free transfers and loans. There's barely any other players that are going out. I mean, they only actually sold these two because of one minimum fee release clause Actually, that might be another minimum fee release clause, but he wasn't registered because of non-EU, which was his fault anyway.
Yeah.
So you're not selling players outside of that. I ain't selling players at all.
I don't know what our wage bills are like, but they must be awful.
Oh, it must be massive.
We haven't got players that we want to play.
Yeah, look at the difference from when you took over.
Yeah.
In comparison, above £1 million, which is
shouldn't be there.
mental.
I can cut that in half quite easily.
Yeah. So, yeah, that might be something we do from next summer, I think. Start adding players to the unwanted list. Now, players that I brought in, of course, Ola Solbakken. I'm very happy with this player, bringing him in, who can play on both wings. He's a solid player indeed, can play naturally from those both wings. Norwegian, very young. For a free transfer, not too bad at all. Then I'm giving Massimo another season. I don't think it'll last unless he brings people in January because, I mean, a loan signing there with who's going to be joining permanently, that's quite good. He's a decent player for the wings as well. Mark Pubel, who's a free transfer, not bad. Caceres, and then this guy, no. So, I mean, Taibbi, maybe. If he brings somebody in January, possibly. But I'm going to go for this 5-2-3 formation and see how that one plays. So far, it's weird. I've got in the one game I thought I'd get battered in, I won 3-0. And then the other 3 games that I thought, you stand a chance in those 3, Luke. We lost every single one. So I don't really know. This season could be awful for me. It could be amazing, but we'll soon find out. The season preview actually puts me... Oh, God, calm down. What's happened here? The season preview is not favouring me at all. In fact, 2,000 to 1. That's mental. They literally see me as the worst team that maybe has ever played in the Serie A. And this is like our 4th season in the Serie A. So, okay.
That's bad news.
Yeah, very bad. You're nice and comfortable in 11th
I'm quite
place.
happy with that. I'll be happy to finish there as well, I think.
Yeah, I bet you would. All right, well, I just need to survive again and then possibly sack Massimo Taibbi because he needs to stop bringing me in better players in case we end up getting relegated. I'll probably sacked before we're relegated, but let's see anyway. Dad and I clashed soon after in the middle of September, and although the first goal was simply poor defending, what came after was just absolutely shocking in a fantastic way for my dad, whose team played incredible and scored some of the best goals all season. His team was lethal and some of the finishes were out of this world, including Tillemans, who scored 2 bangers out of the 5 that Dad scored to secure his 5-0 win, and yet the best was definitely his second, as he caught a sweet volley from a corner that was headed back out. My results after this were awful, and things are looking rather bleak for us at Barry, currently sitting in last place in the table by Christmas, while Dad is actually flirting with the top half. Things were about to get significantly worse for me as well going into January, as Burnaby unfortunately left the club to go to Atletico Madrid in a £9 million move after already scoring 10 league goals for me from midfield. When January came around, it was a good chance for Dad's director of football to make some more additions to the squad, bringing in 3 players to hopefully continue his rise in the league table. Whereas for me, it was panic stations and replacements being brought in by my Massimo Taibbi director of football to try and fix this season, but eventually I think he found and hit the jackpot, because the final signing at the window was Joe Carvalho, a phenom of a player for just 160k, who plays up front and at just 19 vastly improves my side from Belenenses in Portugal. That was the signing we need, and soon enough we had Dad in our sights again and we were looking for revenge. Fortunately though, his top guys were still showing up and rescued a 1-1 draw for Sampdoria. But the belief was there for us at Barry, and although it was still close down the bottom of the table, we have now pulled ourselves out of relegation with some good results. And this is where my Barry side began to shine though, and Joe Carvalho stepped into the spotlight as the young lad began to include himself in the goals, whether that was just from his own finishing or picking out a beautiful pass for the likes of Muniz to benefit from. Dad was still pushing for European football though, and he had his own superstar helping in Stanis Pedrola, who was really at his best this season in a Sampdoria shirt. In the end though, the games against the much bigger sides proved too much for European hopes for Dad, and they missed out by 5 points, sat in 8th place. Well, I was very happy in 13th after how bad our first half of the season was. Well, I'm in 2 minds to sack Massimo Taibbi now, because what a player he's found here. Joe Carvalho.
Unbelievable.
In the turning point of the season, because he joined basically on deadline day in January, played 15 games, got 2 goals, 3 assists, 2 player of the matches for just 210k. That's a steal. He is
210K.
Fantastic.
What a find.
Yeah, what a find. Look at my results before he joined.
You were going.
I was off. We had 2 wins in the league all year.
I can see a big 5-0 one there as well.
There
my
was,
friend.
yeah, a big
Whoa.
5-0. And then, well, to be fair, yeah, he joins here. So after this Lecce game, we lost the next game against Como. But after that, I mean, there's a lot of wins.
Yeah.
Only 2 there because it's Inter and Atalanta, and then Juve at the end of the season. The rest of it, we're picking up points, and we've done an unbelievable job to finish in 13th and look really safe and secure because we were gone. We were in relegation zone for so long. My job was insecure for a long time.
In week 17.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was dangerous times until we got into January. That was a phenomenal signing from Massimo. I'm overjoyed with that. 8th place for yourself, though, Dad, just outside of European spots. So big improvement.
Disappointed about missing that, but really pleased with the final finishing.
Yeah, gotta be happy. I mean, yeah, I was knocked out in the first round. We knew that anyway. But yourself, Dad, you managed to get to the second round and then was knocked out by Monza. So, but your league position across the season, very much mid-table until like an eventual little climb at the end there.
Yeah, pleased with that.
Just missed out. I mean, Pedrola was your top scorer, 18 goals. Brenner only got 16. So is that the target that you were hoping for, or
Not really, no. I mean, if I it's been standing like a sore thumb what I actually need desperately, but it's getting that sort of spin of the wheel in my favour that I can go out and just buy a striker.
Yeah.
Because my director of football's not buying strikers now again.
No.
So
I mean, now that I think we're going to add players to our unwanted list, which obviously if you're doing that, I'm not doing it for you, but if you're doing that, you can ask for asking price, ask for value, half value, any price, sell or release. So it will give us the option. Those are the only options. When we do sell them, we could be getting a nice little transfer budget. You could hold off that player. If you do spin the wheel and you can buy a player, you could wait.
yeah,
Sell a couple of players first, go big on that one player that you want. I think that could be a good option.
that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
I can easily get rid of 10 players.
Yeah, I think
really
I could too.
affecting the
Look at the
squad.
size of your squad. It's
I
unbelievable.
mean, like you say, there's 4 or 5 keepers down the bottom. There.
Yeah.
Just get rid of
£22 million though.
That's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got Andrea Grosso who's coming in. He's not very good at all, but I mean,
Put him on the transfer list
yeah.
already before he gets in.
Even in January, you signed 2 players. Got Gabriel from Vizela. He isn't too bad, to be honest. Brazilian. Also, even
Isn't
though
he
he
19
is,
though?
yeah, even though he is Brazilian, he's Portuguese, so he doesn't count as a non-EU player.
Yeah.
As a second nationality. 20 determination, very good mental attributes for a 19-year-old, so he could be something. Worry about his hair. I mean,
At 19?
yeah. We got to be very grateful that the new graphics engine is coming, because hopefully we get way better new gen faces.
He looks
than
older
that.
than me.
Yeah, he does. And then Stelios Andreu as a good loan signing to sort of rescue your season, as well as Popelec, who was a Polish player which you signed for £2 million. So obviously you're playing a lot of midfielders. He came in and helped that.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. £20 million to spend as well, depending on the wheel to see. Myself, though, in terms of goals, Rodrigo Muniz was the only player who got double figures, and he only had 11 with 3 assists. So 9 from Asadi, who is, of course, joining on a permanent, so I'm happy with that. Ola Solbakken, and I was hoping for a little bit more this season from the new guy, but all right, it's not too bad. But what can we do next season with Joel Carvalho? Because, yeah, I think now we need to find something where both Joel and Rodrigo Muniz can play up front together. Not to mention he's left-footed, which complements Rodrigo Muniz very well, being right-footed, so they can play next to each other and have their own side.
Yeah.
I'm excited for next season. I'm going to go with 2 up top again. I've got 2 very good wingers. So, yeah, we'll see what we can produce in terms of tactics. I don't think my 5 at the back has been working. My transfer budget is only £6 million. But again, I'm going to look to try and get rid of a few players. We've got a couple of players coming in. Abdu Conte is coming in, of course, on a permanent. Ronconi is also coming in, but yeah, we're not signing anybody like that. There's a few other players that did come in, nobody of note though. So I think it's time to spin the wheel. Okay, Dad, spin of the wheel, and it's your turn to go first. Yeah. Let's see.
So it's yellow with
what
one,
type of transfer. Yeah, yellow would be perfect scenario for you. I think you're going to get it as well.
Oh yes, come on, stop! Get in.
One transfer of your choice.
Whoa.
That's a good one.
Could
That
be
is a
just
good
at
one.
the right time as well.
Yeah, right. Let's hope for something similar for me, please. If I get green, I'm going to be so annoyed. We're not green. That's fantastic. One player to add to the transfer target. That's the second best option, I think, in
That's
this.
all right. Yeah, it's good.
Because they tend to put in the bid at the very least. So as long as you do your due diligence, make sure it's a player that actually wants to come and you've got the money, you should be able to sign them. But we haven't seen them muck it up yet. There's always time for that to happen. So, yeah, we'll obviously get to trying to sell players, but now we can also buy a player each as well as we go into season number 6. Dad's selected player was a new striker in Marco Nasty, and he was willing to spend almost all of his budget on him as well from Parma. I was also attempting to sign a Parma player myself, going for another one of their midfielders in Amir Richardson, but of course, I had to rely on my director of football to bring him in for me. Dad's deal was a lot more simple, and Marco Nasty was very soon after a Sampdoria player. Massimo Taibbi got a bid in for me for Amir Richardson though, and the release clause helped make the deal extremely easy for us. And the player thankfully was happy to join us too, and very soon was a Barry player. With the season fast approaching though, we both decided to switch up our systems, with me opting to go for something very adventurous to get a 2-striker formation. Real bad news for Dad though, as his star player Samardzic was sold to Al Ali, activating his release clause for just less than £20 million. I was getting mixed signals about my new system early on, because we began the season with an epic win against Napoli away from home in a 9-goal thriller where Joe Carvalho scored 2 goals. However, after a couple of losses that followed, we then played Dad where he scored 2 more, which was great until Dad's new striker Marco Nasty got himself a second half hat-trick and played the perfect game, helping Dad once again pick up all 3 points in a fantastic match for the neutral as Sampdoria beat Barry 4-2. So I was conceding and scoring a lot of goals, but very much needed a miracle in the transfer market to help me out. But one thing's for sure is the system needed to change, so instead we built something a little more defensively sound. Okay, so again, a lot of players coming in. Just no real significant on the out. Even though I put players on the unwanted list, that also did not work. So I don't know. Amir Richardson was the guy I chose to come in. We both, again, Parma. I had a midfielder from them the first time they got relegated when we were in the league. This time I pinched Amir Richardson. Obviously, I lost Burnaby throughout the season last year, 9.25 million. But he was the last player that I stole from them for 6.25 million. I wish his minimum fee release clause was a little bit bigger than that, but hey, never mind. So yeah, Amir Richardson has come in. I think it's a good price as well of just £4.6 million. He's quite a good player, although he has relegation release clause. Doesn't have another release clause, which is good. The rest of the players that have come in, though, are just awful, unfortunately. So it's a couple of free transfers. They got Chigualdo, who actually isn't that bad, to be honest. He'll be a good 3rd striker. Luca Moro, again, on loan, another striker, 4th striker now. But then, yeah, the rest of them probably not going to play games of football for me, unfortunately. Now, tactically, I'm switching things up. We're going for a 5-1-2-2. I needed to play 2 up front now that I've got Joe Carvalho, and he started the season very well. 4 goals in 4 games.
It's good.
Yeah, great average rating as well. So putting him up front seems to be working. We've got Solbakken, who's obviously our out-and-out winger, who's very good on the wings. I was tempted to put him in the middle, but I think he'll do more damage coming in from that right-hand side, cutting in on his left foot. So we got a Segundo Volante, who will push forward and hopefully fill this gap here. Obviously filling the gap there while the wing-backs will push forward either way. So I think attacking-wise, we should still be quite good going forward. It hasn't started great, though, I'll be honest. We've started with a lot of losses, including, obviously, the game against yourself, where Marco Nasty scored a hat-trick.
Hey.
But
Who's Marco Nasty, they say?
yeah, I did beat Napoli 5-4. They've got some good players. I'm scoring a lot of goals. I'm just conceding far too many. So I've actually tightened up from what it was, because originally I was only going to have 1 defensive midfielder. Now I've got 2 defensive midfielders, so hopefully that won't be the issue anymore, and we won't be leaking as many goals as what we was previously. To yourself, Dad, obviously Marco Nasty, you spent a lot of money on him though.
Yeah, I did, but he's only 24. A lot of players that I actually looked at wouldn't come to me.
Yeah.
So it was a case of then I had to narrow it down to the players that would come to me, and he was the best of the bunch. Unfortunately, so I had to pay 22 million for him.
Yeah, Palmer only paid 15 million for him the year before. He got 10 goals in his full campaign last year.
Yeah.
He's already got 4 in 4. Obviously, there was a hat-trick against myself, but a 7.45 average rating, so it was a good start to the season for him. Only needs 6 more, and he's got what he got for the whole of last season. But your director of football, again, a lot of free transfers, as well as Rocco Robert Sheen, who I don't think is amazing, and I definitely don't think is worth... Was it £9 million?
Yeah.
That's
I see me and him falling out very soon as well.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that one. I think the best signing is Ali Al Mazrati.
Yes.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, it's perfect for the position I needed as well. So, yeah, ideal. Finally got one player right.
Bit harsh. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of other players coming in again. Not really going to be getting into the first team. Not really at all. No. So, never mind. Tactically then, actually to be fair, Giovanni Fabian as well was another player that he's brought in, midfielder who's on loan joining permanently. So he's not a bad player, midfielder. Tactically then, you're sticking with the diamond, but you're locking Tillemans in that attacking midfielder role.
I had to lock him in that position because I'd lost my player that played in that position last season.
Yeah, Samartic is gone.
I was so disappointed, so I had to replace that one position with that sort of class of player. So I've just moved it up. He bought me 2 midfielders, so one would definitely go defensive midfielder, and the other one might go with the attacking centre midfielder. So
yeah, the best 11 pick still puts Tillemans in the team.
Yeah,
but
I'll put him there. Look.
Yeah, and then you would have Piotrkowski there.
So that's what I'm looking at.
Piotrowski.
It all depends. Let them all fight it out for the centre midfield position, because I reckon the other 3 positions will be locked in. So, and Nasty's up front.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that as well.
Okay, well, start the season. We know about one of your results. You also beat Cagliari 3-1. 2 losses at the start of the season, though. 1 to AC Milan, only 3-2, but then a 3-1 loss to Udinese.
I'm looking at that really. I mean, it's 2 losses, but it's 6 goals. That's the main thing I'm concerned about. So, yeah, not too good.
Yeah, there's a lot of goals this season in the Serie A, it seems. Everybody's scoring tons of goals. We've got somebody, Kavinda, who's already on 7 goals in total. So fair play to Daniel Kavinda. But, all right. So, going into this season then, the season preview, where does it put me this time? 700 to 1. I mean, I've been defying the odds ever since. The 2000 to 1 was a little bit harsh, I felt, but there we go. 700 to 1. Can I defy the odds yet again? Well, the tactical switch helped because although the big clubs were still battering us, we were picking up some good wins. Dad's Sampdoria's side was in a similar situation, and every time a goal was needed, new signing Marco Nasti was usually there to rescue with 10 league goals by Christmas, which also turned out to be the same amount that Joe Carvalho was on as well this season so far. And there wasn't much to separate Dad and I at the halfway point as we sat in 9th and 11th. January, Dad was hoping his director of football would spend some of the money that was left, and although to some extent he did, only 2 of the multiple players that came in were first teamers. Mine was a bit more bleak than Dad's, with just 1 player and a goalkeeper who makes a difference to my first 11. The second fixture between our 2 sides happened soon after though, and Dad took the lead, only for 2 second half goals by my 2 strikers, leading the line in Carvalho first, followed by Muniz, and I stole the win. And this was part of a real bad run for Dad, where the only game he could win was a first leg in the Coppa Italia semi-final against Milan, where Sampdoria finds themselves 3-0 up. The second leg was a banger of a match where Sampdoria scored some cracking goals and the score finished 2-2, meaning Dad would go to the Coppa Italia final to face Inter. In the meantime, while Dad was getting into the cup final, I was creeping up into the European spots. In that Coppa Italia final though, it was once again an amazing fixture where if you were a neutral, there was 7 goals and a hat-trick for Chidera, but unfortunately for Dad, Inter Milan came from 3-2 down to win 4-3 to lift the trophy. So as we went into the final fixtures of the league campaign, Dad was still struggling, while I was hoping Barry could just scrape into European football next season. Right, towards the end of the season, I had a lovely time. And that has bumped me right up.
I come from nowhere.
Yeah, into 8th place and claimed the Europa Conference League position. You can see along here I was mid-table pretty much all the season. That 9th to 11th spot was mine, and then crept up, even got into 7th at one point, but finished in 8th place. Very happy. I had a period of games where I won 6 in a row there. So yeah, I'm buzzing with that because that's really helped us. I mean, hopefully will help us because of the Europa Conference League football next year, because financially things are starting to fall off just a tad. We're now in the red, unfortunately, but no transfer budget really at all. And it's probably because of the wages going up that much. But again, we can't really do anything about it if he's not going to get rid of anybody. So I'm hoping we can just get rid of loads of players in this next window and then bring that wage down and hopefully be able to spend something, because right now it's a little bit we're in dangerous territory, and I think the European football might come in at a really good time. Joe Carvalho, though, I really hope he doesn't cash in on. He is fantastic for me.
Yeah.
He is really good. And again, just 210k. He's got 19 league goals this season.
I mean, 13 million is not a lot, neither, is it? It should be valued more than that. But
25-30, I'd be like... 19
goals, that's a hell of a season, isn't it? It's
yeah.
His first full season for you for 2K.
He's had a great time, isn't he, from Belenenses? But, just how long is he going to last? I've also been, training him, you can see here, in attacking movement for anticipation and decision-making, plus off the ball. But really, it's for the anticipation and decision-making because it's kind of low at the minute. It's kind of like the only thing on him other than finishing, but finishing's not really that bad as if you've got good composure and good anticipation. So we'll see, but he has been an absolute barnstormer for me, and he's one of the first players that I've had in the top goal scorers of the league. So that's great to see. Dan, 14th place. Are you happy with your finish?
No.
No, I don't think you would be.
I was doing well as part of the season and just dropped right off. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, obviously distracted by the fact that you had a lovely little cup run.
Yeah.
Inter Milan in the final, you'd probably think, but then you gave them a bloody good game.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And it wasn't until the 82nd minute when they scored an equaliser, you were actually going on to win it at one point. And then Bentancur, Spurs player, went and scored the winner in the 84th. So, that's
I'm
heartbreaking.
disappointed with that because that could have been a little breezy bonus for me, really. Eric Ten Hag as well. Look. I don't know.
That is class. So yeah, I mean, Sampdoria's gone down by the looks of it. They've won the Europa Conference League this year. So if I'm going in it next year, that would be great. So if you won the Coppa Italia, I think you would have gone into one of those competitions.
Yeah.
So unfortunate, but so close yet so far.
My goal difference is -1, so there you go.
Yeah.
Defensive order let me down, I think, as well.
I mean, yeah, because Nasty, if we're looking at it, 18 goals.
Yeah, it's not
bad.
Lot, is it? I mean, you're looking at my midfield score in the 12 goals. Look, I had 2 strikers.
Pedrola was the other one.
Yeah. So, I'm just not performing. Just director of football, help.
Yeah. I mean, you've been given £11 million, so you do have a bit of a budget.
Yeah.
You've also got a left back coming in, the permanent signing of Giovanni Fabian, who you've been using anyway this year. And then, of course, in January, you did have some signings. It wasn't a lot. I mean, Andre Carvalho did come in. Again, not amazing, but not bad as a right back, really. And then a lot of it was just like loans and free transfers that you've got. So, I mean, it's nobody special, to be honest. And you're getting to the point where it's like you need
first team players
instead.
They would struggle to get in my reserve team.
Yeah, but there we go. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with my transfer budget. I do have players coming in. They've got a few players that came in throughout the January window. Mandas, who is joining on a permanent one for a goalkeeper, but the rest of them, again, we're just not going to use. Just not going to use. And this is the beauty of the Director of Football Challenge. I am tempted to change mine now. It feels like whenever you first sign and he's actually out of contract as well, which is hilarious. It feels like when you first sign a director of football, they make loads of signings to impress you, and then they tail off.
Yeah.
I cannot be mad, though, because he did get me my striker Carvalho. So it's kind of like, well, he can pick out an unbelievable deal. So do I rely on him with that, or just be like, well, nothing else has happened?
You got one good deal out of
3 years, 4 years.
So you're looking at probably 25 signings.
Yeah.
You got one good one out of it. I don't know. That's what I'd be looking at.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd have preferred to got 5 or 6 really good first team players in out of the 25 that you signed.
Yeah. We haven't got any money, but we still get to spin the wheel, because maybe even if we do get a transfer of choice, we can still use it for a loan or a free transfer. So let's move over to the wheel. All right, Dad. Well, I'm spinning the wheel first. Anything but green would be great. We're past that, so that's absolutely fine. And to transfer target again. This is the complicated one if you have no money. It's great in a way, but if you don't have any money, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get possibly a free transfer. I don't really know. Let's see what you're going to get, though, with a spin of the wheel. Are you going to get green? Oh, one free transfer. Which isn't bad.
It all depends what this particular season
What's
is
on
like
the market.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I'll take it, though.
Yeah.
Better than the green.
All right, well, make sure you do not miss the next episode to see what happens with the likes of Joe Carvalho with our new signings, and will we replace our director of football. Subscribe so you do not miss it, and Season 7 is coming very soon.